So as I said in the previous video, we have these fundamental capacities for control on the one hand and connection on the other, for getting and having stuff to make our lives better on the one hand and opening up to everything we don't know on the other. And we look at happiness primarily in terms of control. We think about all the things we can get and have which will make us have a good life, which will make us be okay, which will make us be happy. And as I mentioned at the end of the last video, there's nothing wrong with wanting to make our lives better. That is a good thing to do. It's good to get and have stuff. The problem comes when we start to think that we can control everything in our lives. We can have the perfect relationship, perfect work, perfect body, perfect mind. And we then go about desperately trying to achieve all those things, trying to get and have all those things. We wake up, we have the to-do list in our head, we go about our day, getting and having stuff, we go to sleep, we wake up, we do the same, we have our lifelong plans, and if we execute this plan, where we get the career, the family, the wealth, the exciting experiences, whatever, then we will be able to reach this kind of state of happiness, this final outcome. And that's just not how things work. We are inherently insecure. Everything we care about has vulnerability built into it. Our relationships, the people we love, will ultimately result in some form of loss because we are mortal beings. People get unhealthily, unexpectedly sick. We take on challenges that we don't know whether we're going to be able to achieve or not, and so there's an inevitable amount of mistakes and failure sewn into them. Of course, you know, our own lives are going to end at some point. No matter how much we get and have, we will all still die. And these are things that if we're constantly seeking to control every element of our lives, we're going to be hitting against the wall. There is no end to the amount of things that we can control. So it's not the problem of making our lives better, that's fine. It's the fact that there are endless, infinite ways in which we can continue to make our life better. There is never going to be a point where we don't look around us and see all the different ways, the myriad ways in which we can control our lives to our liking. So the real skill of living, the art of living, is about choosing the things that really matter to try and control, to try and get and have, to try and improve in order to make our lives more worthwhile. And if we stay in this control mode the whole time, if we continue to wake up with to-do lists in our head, continue to execute our life plan, we narrow our vision. That's what our capacities of control do. They take this vastness of ourselves, of our relationships, of our environment, and they narrow things down into plans, into objects, into understandable units that we can then use and manipulate in order to achieve better outcomes. But if we continuously do this, if we never step outside our maps of reality or the lists inside our heads of things we need to make better about our lives, we gradually lose touch with what matters in life. And we can see this in our kind of culture. We can see even people who have achieved their career prospects, their family ambitions, can end up having midlife crises where no matter how successful they've been, they wonder, is that really what matters in their lives? We can see this even at the end of people's lives, the common regrets of the dying. Things like, I wish I hadn't worked so hard but spent more time with loved ones, or I wish I hadn't done so much of what other people expected me to do, what I thought I should do, and instead did what I really cared about. This is testament to the fact that maybe on a day-to-day level we can feel we're making progress, we can feel we're controlling things, we can feel we're improving our lives, but actually if we're too narrowly in that mode, we can lose touch with what really matters, we can lose contact with what's important. And tragedies, crises, these midlife crises or end-of-life crises, or even crises that are out of control, such as burnout or mental breakdown or the loss of a loved one, these things are moments, opportunities for us to realize that at some point we thought we could just plan everything, we thought we could just control everything, but we've actually now had to face reality. We've had to acknowledge just how important it is to stay in touch with what matters and reassess what we're doing. And so we really need to balance these capacities for control and connection in our lives. We can get so easily lost if we spend too much time in control mode, if we spend too much time getting and having the things we think are important, ticking those items off our to-do list, trying to achieve this perfect image or state of happiness or the good life. So we're going to look in the next few videos about how we can do just that.